Hello all you evil board gamers out there, and welcome to this tutorial video for Dawn and Demons. In this video I'm going to take a look at the Forces of Light deck and see what kind of cards you can pull and how Soldiers and Griffon Knights and the Archbishop work. So in the beginning of the game, before the black player's first turn, you draw one card from the Forces of Light deck and that card takes effect immediately. In this case, it's the Purge card, which means that I have to roll a die for every dungeon, and on the roll of 4 or more, I place a Griffon Knight on that space. So let's see what happens if I roll this one. Yeah. This one, no. And here, no. This one, no. And this one, no. And this one, yes. So that's how it works. If I pull another Purge card, the same thing happens, except for the fact that I only roll for those dungeons that do not have a Griffon Knight on them. And then it is on the roll of 3+ that I place a Griffon Knight. Then all players take their turn and so on and so on, and once the Archbishop token is flipped, you pick the next card from the deck. I draw another card from the deck, and this time it's Enlightenment. This means that I have to roll just like I did with the dungeons, but this time it's for the libraries and the workshops. So let's see what happens here. No. Yes. In this way, the board can be flooded by Griffon Knights, sometimes if you are unlucky. Then each player takes their turn, and then you can pick another card. In this case it's Reinforcements, which means that I have to roll a die for all the cities on the game board. And on the roll of 4 or more, a soldier shows up on that space. So let's see what happens. In a later turn, if another Reinforcements card is pulled, you automatically place a soldier on all unoccupied cities. So if, for instance, this city was occupied by black player, you wouldn't place any token there. But otherwise, you will have to place a token on all unoccupied cities on the game board. You can attack the spaces with the soldiers on and the spaces with the Griffon Knight on. For instance, if you go into this city to attack, you would attack with your army, in this case 2 ghosts and 2 Hell Knights, your Necromancer and your Apprentice, and then the soldiers and the city, they strike back. In this case you would have to inflict 2 wounds because each soldier has 1 wound. If you for instance attack this city and you inflict only 1 wound, that wound will go to the tower and the city will survive because of the soldier. So your Necromancer would be bounced back if he attacked and only inflicted 1 wound on that city. You can also attack the Griffon Knights, and for instance here, if you kill the Griffon Knight, you can go into the dungeon. But remember that the Griffon Knight has 2 power 4 attacks with Ghost Strike. So of course the wounds will be allocated to your minions first, so in this case it would strike and inflict 1 wound, and you could allocate the wound to your Hell Knight, for instance. Note that each of the Griffon Knights, they have a greater corpse on the back, so if you kill a Griffon Knight, you get 1 greater corpse. If you kill a soldier, they have lesser corpses on the back, so you get a lesser corpse every time you kill a soldier. Let's see what happens if I draw another Purge card from the Forces of Light deck. And I have Dominion counters on some of the dungeons, and my Necromancer is on a dungeon. In this case, if a Griffon Knight lands on a Necromancer, it will strike with its 2 power 4 Ghost Strike attacks. In this case, it inflicts 1 wound, and then the player will have to allocate wounds to its minions or apprentice and so on. If the Griffon Knight does not kill the Necromancer, then the Griffon Knight is bounced back and does not land on the space. The Necromancer and its army does not get to strike back. If the Griffon Knight lands on a dungeon, it will attack that dungeon. So in this case, it will strike with its 2 attacks and it inflicts 1 wound. This means that it can remove 1 Dominion counter from that space. If the Griffon Knight had landed on this space here that has 2 Dominion counters because of the gemstone mine, and it only inflicted 1 wound, then 1 Dominion counter would go away and the Griffon Knight would not land because it does not remove all the Dominion counters. This also means that it can be a good idea to protect your dungeons with minions. If I place a Hell Knight here, for instance, and a Griffon Knight lands, and that Griffon Knight only inflicts 1 wound, I would save my my Dominion counter, and the Hell Knight would die. If at any point in the game you draw 4 reinforcements cards, the Archbishop shows up in the Valley of Souls along with his 2 Griffon Knights and 3 soldiers for every player in the game. The Archbishop only has 1 power 1 attack and 1 wound. However, he will banish the undead at the beginning of black player's turn. This works like this. You roll 1 die for every minion you have. And if you roll a 6, that minion is banished and thereby destroyed. So I would roll 2 dice for my ghosts. 1 of them is slain, and 1 for my Hell Knight, and that 1 survives. You do not roll for your apprentice, and you do not roll for demons if you have them in play. If at any point you attack the Archbishop, you also have to roll at the beginning of combat for all of your minions. Yes, we hope you'll have some fun defeating the forces of light, and don't forget to hit the like button here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos about the game. Thank you.